Alright guys, we are starting this look on clean, detangled, and freshly washed hair, and it is damp. I'm going to be using Goody Ouchless bands. This is a pack of 50. I have 2 of them just in case. I'm using CANTU shea butter as a leave-in, as well as Cream of Nature's The Perfect 7 leave-in. I'm also using my favorite oils, extra virgin olive and extra virgin coconut oil. And I'm using the Curl Enhancing Smoothie by Shea Moisture. Now, what I'm doing is the lock method, LOC, and the lock method basically, L is for leave-in, O is for oils, and C is for cream. And I would guess that every natural basically does this. It's just the way or the order that you put the products in your hair. So it's leave-in, it's oil, and then it's a cream. So I'm just separating my hair now to get ready to start with the banding process. This is my first time doing it. I'm looking forward to it. I really feel like my hair has grown so much, but it's really hard to tell with the shrinkage that I get. I get super duper shrinkage. So right there, I am just putting the products in. You want to make sure that your hair is well moisturized before you start banding, and also you need it to be very detangled. Now I'm using my knockoff Demon brush, I'm using a comb, I'm using my fingers. I just want to assure you guys that it is not damaging or pulling out my hair. It looks like it's a lot, but really it is not that much, and as you can see, there's little to no hair in the comb. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the banding. And you want to make sure that the base of your hair, or the part that you're starting, is as smooth as possible. And you just begin to wrap the band around your hair. Now, depending on the length of your hair, depends on how many bands you will need. I think I actually ended up using almost, maybe about 75 bands. Like I said, it's 50 per pack. And I ended up going into my second pack. And I only had about 2 of them pop on me, so just make sure you have extra just in case, because they do tend to pop. And you'll be able to see a little bit better once I move to the front, which will be shortly, of what I'm doing. I have to remember to place my mirror a little bit higher so that you guys can see what I'm doing, or try to place my camera in a different angle, but I'm a work in progress, guys. So basically what I'm doing here is holding the hair taut and making sure that it stays as straight as possible as I put the bands on. And I'm just wrapping, and the goal is to keep the bands as close together as possible, so that way you don't have too many gaps in between, because being natural, those little gaps that are in between will actually form a shape in your hair. So I'm going to try to get them as close as possible. And once I get to the end, I think what I'm going to do is just 2-strand twist. There are a couple of them that I didn't even bother with because there was really no hair at the end. And yeah, I didn't bother with it because my plan is to go ahead and clip my ends. Okay, so that's one that's completely done. And I've fast forwarded looking like Spider-Woman. And I have about, I think I did 8 altogether. So right there I have 7 parts in my hair that are already banded. As you can see, it will take shape, and it really stretched my hair out. So I'm hoping that once I go to sleep that it will stay stretched. And I know it's raggedy in the back, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so again, I'm going to do the front just to go through the process again so you guys can see. I'm adding my leave-ins, my oils, and my cream. And right there, as usual, I'm just detangling. And guys, when you get to the front, well, I would suggest in all of the parts that you have, just make sure that you're not pulling your hair too tight. You do want it to lay down flat, but you don't want it to have any stress on your hair, especially around the edges. So I'm just going to repeat the process and just continue to wrap the bands around my hair while I'm holding my actual hair straight. If I get to a part where I feel like it's so curly or it's really defined, I'm just going to comb it a little bit and then continue the process. Now guys, one thing I can say about banding, I would suggest if your hair is at, you know, my length or longer, you want to do it where it is earlier in the day so that you can have most of your day and your evening spent letting your hair dry. Because sleeping on this, it's like, first of all, they don't really want to bend because they are just erect. I don't even know if that's the correct word, but yeah, that's what it looks like to me, or that's what it felt like to me. It was so hard sleeping on them. And yeah, if I do this again, I will not sleep on them. I will just go ahead and try to get through my day with them in my hair. You know, you can conceal them under a scarf, but it was just the sleeping on it was hard for me. I'm just finishing up with that. And guys, the entire process took maybe about an hour and a half, but that's because I was watching my holiday movies, being nosy, talking on the phone. But yeah, and it all depends on the length of your hair. So I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap this bad boy up. Now I'm really looking really like a psycho, and this scarf is not wanting to cooperate with me. Okay, and for recording purposes, I just did something real sloppy because I could not stand that my hair was out in the back, but I did end up crisscrossing them, and that way it would lay flat to my head, and that's what I did. So the next morning, guys, I took out most of the hair. It is stretched. It is sort of a blowout type of stretching, and I love the fact that I did not have to use heat to get to this point. However, my hair is about 90% dry, so there are still parts of my hair that are wet. If it was not Sunday morning, if I did not have to get out of the house to go to church, I would have let them stay in, but I have to do something with this head of mine before I head out for church. So the takedown is really easy. If you put the bands in correctly, or you know, a certain way, you can just slide them right out without even damaging your hair. You want to just hold on to the shaft or the base of your hair and pull them out. And as you can see by that little piece there, it's still damp. I'm looking rough as I don't know what too. Jesus. So I'm going to go ahead, pick that out, pull those out, and yeah, have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to, well, at that point I didn't have any idea, but like I said, I had to get out the house, so I am going to just go ahead and do a quick style and get ready for the straightening process. So if you guys want to stay tuned, check out my next video, which will be up in a couple of days, of the flat ironing process of my first flat iron in over 2 years. I am 29 months natural. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Smooches. Okay, so this is what I ended up doing with my hair, just 2 French braids going back, and I rocked it like that for the day. And yeah, it worked out pretty good. Thanks for watching, guys. Smooches.